Listen, if you're not retired yet, then this video is for you. Today we will be diving into retirement planning because let's face it, if all goes well, we will all be heading there. That's right, those golden years are coming and you better be prepared. For many, retirement feels like a very distant dream, and planning for something so far away can be confusing. First, because it's hard to quantify, and second, because we're not just dealing with numbers here. We're dealing with fear about the future. We're trying to predict lifestyle scenarios, and we have to learn how to balance our current desires with future needs. But today, I will give you a hint. We are going to talk about how much you really need to retire, how much you should be saving monthly to reach that amount, and where to start when you have no idea of what to do in terms of saving and investing. Given the complexities and confusion surrounding the subject, let's begin by addressing some common myths about retirement that can impact your planning. The first one is believing that $1 million will be enough to secure your golden years. There are so many reasons that make this belief a misconception, starting with the fact that there's a sneaky little thing out there that reduces your purchasing power by roughly 3% annually. And that sneaky little thing is called inflation. $1 million in 10, 20, 30 years from now will not buy you the same services and goods that it does today. In fact, in 10 years, you will need about $1.35 million to maintain the same purchasing power. In 20 years, you will need 1.8, and in 30 years, $2.4 million. Not to mention that if you retire at 65 and live to 95 or beyond, that's 30 years of living off your savings. So would $1 million be enough to cover your lifestyle and healthcare expenses for 3 decades? Probably not. Of course, it would make a huge difference, and I'm not trying to diminish its significance. However, I want to highlight that it might not be sufficient for a peaceful retirement. And in a moment, I will demonstrate how you can determine the ideal dollar amount that you may need. The next common misconception is assuming that Social Security will be enough to cover your expenses. I can't express my concern strongly enough each time someone indicates a heavy reliance on Social Security for their retirement. This is very problematic because Social Security was not intended to be your primary income source. It was designed with the goal of supplementing an individual's income, preventing them from going into poverty. Supplementing means it would cover approximately 30% of their expenses. It's not even half. Also, another aspect that sometimes people overlook or just are not aware of is that your Social Security contributions are not deposited into an account bearing your name. The contributions you make are distributed to those currently retired, and when it's your turn to retire, your Social Security will be funded by those remaining in the workforce. Understood? So you will basically depend on other people to cover 30 to 40% of your expenses. Well, that being said, let's go over how much you really need to retire and what your monthly contributions should be. I have provided a link to an online calculator that can help you understand these numbers better. Let me quickly walk you through how it works. To begin, input your current age, the age you intend to retire at, and your estimated life expectancy. Age plays an important role in determining the total amount you will need. For example, the age you start saving and when you expect to retire determines the duration of your saving phase. Let's say you begin saving at 25 and aim to retire by 60. That gives you 35 years to save. If you aim for 65, that's 40 years. Those additional years can make a substantial difference, especially due to the magic of compound interest. Life expectancy is another crucial factor. Naturally, the longer you anticipate living during retirement, the more savings you'll likely need. So it's wise to plan for living a few years beyond the average life expectancy to err on the side of caution. While the global average life expectancy is around 73 years, many people are living into their 80s, 90s, and even reaching 100. The calculator does operate on certain assumptions like your annual income increase, the inflation rate, and the average return on your investments. If you're unsure about these figures, stick to the defaults. Another assumption the calculator takes into account is the income you anticipate needing during retirement. Considering your current income, what portion will you need in retirement to sustain your lifestyle? While your present lifestyle may not mirror your retirement dreams, it provides a starting point for projection. Some expenses, such as those related to children or mortgage, might decrease or vanish, while others, like healthcare, might rise. With these fluctuations in mind, most financial experts estimate that we will need around 70 to 85% of our current income during retirement. The calculator uses 75% as a default option. The next section prompts you to enter your current retirement savings, the amount you intend to allocate in the future, and any other post-retirement income sources you anticipate, such as from Social Security or a pension. In fact, if you're curious about estimating your potential Social Security benefits, there is a handy hyperlink attached to the words Social Security. Just click on it. It will direct you to the government's official site where you can navigate to plan for retirement, either create a new account or sign into an existing one, and find out your projected Social Security benefit amount. Once you have that number, you can enter it into the retirement calculator or just leave it blank. For demonstration purpose, I will stick with the default settings, and here's what we get. I would need roughly $1.88 million to retire by age 67, yielding approximately $11,000 monthly. In today's terms, that $11,000 equates to about $4,000 in today's money. What's nice is that aside from specifying the amount I would need for retirement, the tool also provides suggestions on how to accumulate that $1.88 million. For instance, to attain that goal, I would have to invest $1,500 monthly or $18,000 annually. Moreover, there's a graphical representation illustrating the difference between my total savings if I maintain my current contribution rate and the potential amount if I increase my contributions to $1,500 per month. This is an excellent tool. It's free. Take advantage, try different numbers, and play around with it. So far, you have learned how much you might need for retirement and what your contributions should look like. And I understand if both figures might seem daunting, especially when we have so many other immediate concerns and responsibilities. However, I urge you not to be discouraged or feel that this exercise was pointless. Knowing how much you should be saving is crucial, even if you can't set aside that amount right now. By pinpointing how much you should be investing for retirement, you're setting a clear and tangible goal. And keeping this goal in mind can steer your financial decisions and priorities in the right direction. Also, seeing the actual numbers can inspire you to seek out new opportunities and solutions. After all, many thrive when faced with a challenge. Lastly, understanding how much you should be saving allows you to approach the goal gradually. Think of it as training for a marathon. You wouldn't attempt the full distance on your first day running. Initially, you will get your body accustomed to the exercise, and then you will work on improving your stamina and speed. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed and unsure of your next move, let's break down some actionable steps. And remember, sweetie, all of this is purely educational. Think of it as personal finance 101. Take what resonates the most with you. Step number 1, consider opening a retirement account. These accounts come packed with several benefits, and if you don't already have one, it's time to explore the options. What's the standout advantage of having a retirement account? It will be the tax benefits. Depending on the type of account, you can either invest with pre-tax dollars and pay taxes upon retirement, or pay taxes upfront and enjoy tax-free withdrawals later on. An added perk is that your investments in these accounts grow tax-free. This means no taxes on dividends, interest, or capital gains. Plus, retirement accounts inherently promote long-term investment by imposing penalties for early withdrawals, especially for those made before age 59 and a half. There are several account options available, but here are some of the most common. So there's the 401k, typically offered by employers and allows companies to match your contributions. There's the Roth IRA and traditional IRA, that these are individual retirement accounts, so they aren't tied by any employer. There's the SEP IRA, tailored for small business owners. And there's an individual 401k, which is ideal for self-employed individuals without employees, which includes many freelancers. Of course, there are other account types not mentioned here, but this gives you a solid starting point. To open an account, simply reach out to your broker of choice. There's Vanguard, Schwab, and Fidelity, and these are some of the big players in the market, and they all offer customer support to answer any questions that you might have. And hey, if you got any thoughts or questions about this, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. Step number 2 is to make regular contributions. Once you have opened your retirement account, establish automatic contributions. This will create a habit of viewing savings as a non-negotiable expense, and by transferring money at regular intervals, you minimize the temptation to spend it impulsively. Oh, and remember, merely transferring money into a retirement account isn't the same as investing it. This is a very common mistake, and not investing your funds means missing out on potential earnings. So make sure that every dollar in that account is actively invested. Diving into the world of investing can be overwhelming due to the many options available. There are stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate, and others. So where to begin? First and foremost, educate yourself. Knowledge truly is power. But I understand that not everyone wants to learn, not everyone has the time, not everyone has the will. That being said, for those seeking more a hands-off approach, consider exploring index funds and target date funds. Index funds are designed to mirror the performance of specific market indices like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. They are beginner-friendly as they spare you from selecting individual stocks. Instead, you're purchasing a small fraction of the entire market or a specific segment of the market. Furthermore, index funds typically come with lower fees because there isn't a team of analysts trying to outsmart the market, which can drive up the cost. The second option, target date funds, offers a mix of stocks and bonds that adjust based on your intended retirement date. Say I'm planning to retire in 2050, but I prefer not to micromanage the blend of stocks, bonds, and other assets. In that case, I would opt for a 2050 target date fund. Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab all offer such funds, and these funds have a manager who is in charge of overseeing adjustments. Usually how it works is that it will start with a more aggressive asset allocation. It will have more stocks in the fund, and then as it gets nearer the target date, it gradually becomes more conservative, containing more bonds than stocks. And then the last step of the process would be for you to periodically review and adjust your goals. Always strive for balance. You want to be financially responsible, but you also should want to enjoy the present. You have got this. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.